Hi everyone, I'm Brenda Harvey, author of The Conspiracy. Today we are going to be talking about common myths about being an author. But before we do that, I need you to go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And really quick, I did want to tell you guys, so normally we have comments off on my videos. For this video, we are going to have our comments on. This way I can communicate with you guys a little bit more and you can communicate with me. But you know I'm in high school, so cyberbullying, mean comments, anything like that. And the comments get turned off until I turn 18. I know that may seem harsh and ridiculous. I'm in high school. I have anxiety. I don't need more drama in my life. So if we can just be nice in the comments and we will keep them, but if someone starts being mean in the comments, you're going to ruin it for everyone, okay? So now we can go ahead and get into the video, okay? So the first myth we are going to bust is that books are easy to write, and I think this applies to most professional writers. Making clothing is easy, making fashion is easy, making acting is easy. And if you've ever done that, it is not. So, and that's the same with writing a book. It takes months, sometimes years, to write a good book. And a lot of authors are perfectionists like me, so we're going to take forever editing them just to be able to produce them. But the writing process takes so long. You have to develop your plot, you have to develop your characters, you have to know what character development you want, and you have to understand how you want to use your hero's journey. And all that is so important for you when you are writing your book, and it is nowhere close to easy for writing. Okay, next myth. All authors are rich. No. That is 100% false. Even J.K. Rowling is not a billionaire. Author, it's not like poof book, oh my gosh, now I'm a millionaire. No, it takes a lot of time to be able to build up what you have done and just to be able to produce something, especially if you are a young author and you don't have anything out. It takes a long time to be able to make a lot of money. As for me, like, I haven't even made $50 off The Conspiracy yet. It takes a lot of work, and you are never going to be rich right away. And there are plenty of authors who you've never heard of. For example, Maggie Hall. You probably haven't heard of her. She wrote the Conspiracy of Us series. I think she wrote something else, but I'm not 100% sure. But she is not super famous. You aren't going to see her name plastered all over billboards. Which most authors, you do not see their name plastered on billboards, but you understand, okay? So next, authors sell thousands upon thousands of books. No. So, I'm sorry, but your book is not going to be a hit right off the bat. It's going to take a really, really long time to build up momentum and to be able to get your book rolling. So, J.K. Rowling, yes, she has sold thousands of Harry Potter books. But Maggie Hall, I'm pretty sure she did not sell thousands upon thousands upon thousands of The Conspiracy of Us. And especially if you're a young author, I have only sold 13 copies of The Conspiracy, and it has been out for about a month now. So it does take a lot of time, especially if you don't have the weight of a publishing agency behind you. If you are self-published with KDP, like I strongly recommend you do. And if you are, you are self-promoting, doing all this. I do a lot of work to promote The Conspiracy, mostly spreading the word at school, actually. Because a lot of people, they aren't going to find me just scrolling through YouTube or just searching the web and my name is Brenda Harvey, but apparently there was a Brenda Harvey Ritchie. I cannot Google myself, okay? I can't Google myself because someone named Brenda Harvey Ritchie existed before me. So it's going to take a lot of time for me to build up traction, and you shouldn't have this expectation of being this big name author all over, because there are not that many big name authors considering how many thousands, millions, billions of books there are out there. So next myth. Once an author sells a book to the publisher, the author can just lean back and bring in the growth. No, you cannot. I'm sorry. I didn't even use a publisher. I used Kindle Direct Publishing. So I'm doing all the work myself. I am promoting myself. I am talking myself. I am a one-woman crew right here. And yes, I have talked about my editing team, and no, you cannot go just poof, book by yourself. It takes a long time, and it does take a handful of people to be able to produce something that you are willing to put out there. But for me, I am a one-woman show. I am doing YouTube myself. I am shooting on my phone. I don't have a camera. I am doing my own website. All of this is me. I did not hire a company. I didn't hire anyone. This is all me. Now, once the COVID-19 pandemic is over, I will be getting a few of my friends together, and we're going to make a marketing team. So I'm going to pick up more traction that way. But right now, I am a one-woman show. This is just me right off the bat. All books are somewhat autobiographical, and this is actually somewhat true. And I know a lot of authors are going to come at me and say, whoa, no, it's not. Talk about your own writing. But every time you write, you are pouring a little bit of your soul into this. Writing is an art. You are pouring your heart out into this. And even if it's like not purposeful, you are going to see yourself in every work. You are going to feel what the author feels. And when you are older, yes, that does get masked a lot more, but you are always going to be putting a little bit of yourself into every single book, because this is you. It may not be, well, I have never been kidnapped. I have never been part of a secret society, but Iris is so much like me, especially in times of stress. I have anxiety, and especially in the second book, you're going to see this, but there is so much anxiety in her, so much of me reflected in her character, just like pouring my heart out into her. This isn't just something that happens. This isn't just, oh my gosh, I didn't get this from anywhere. No, you have to have inspiration. You have to have some glimmer of yourself into every novel, because if you don't, then no one's going to read it. If this is just pure, I don't know what I'm doing, no one's going to read it, and no one's going to try. Now, of course, this isn't going to be completely autobiographical, but it will be very similar. It is going to reflect you in many, many ways. So, the narrator of the book is the author, and I did talk about this a little bit earlier, but and we will talk about first, second, and third person, but the author is pouring themselves out, but they are not their character. I am not Iris, okay? Iris is one section of my brain poured out into one person and exaggerated. Iris is never going to be me. She's a part of me, but she is not me. And that goes for every character that I have ever created. Now, authors love attention, talking about their books, famous, oh my gosh. I am very introverted. I know it may not seem like that since I'm coming out on YouTube and talking to you. I am very, very, very introverted. I don't like talking to people. For about a month and a half at school, I read during lunch and tried to get people to leave me alone. Fact. But some authors, they do like talking about their books and they're proud of this. But for me, I don't want to talk about this. I still don't know what to say when people ask me, hey, what's your book about? I still don't know what to say. I still need to like create a pitch for it because I am just so introverted and I'm not talking and I don't want to talk about my book and I don't want to have someone sit down with me and say, hey, oh my gosh, I loved your book. So why did Iris do this? She could have done this. What's going to happen in your next book? I don't want to talk about that. Because if that's the only thing you associate with me, especially if you're my friend, then I would honestly kind of be offended because my work is my work, it's not me. And I don't like attention, I don't like being in the spotlight, says the woman in her school musical. Yeah, but I don't like the spotlight. I just kind of want to go with the flow. I am very introverted. I'm very easygoing. Happy World Introvert Day. It was January 2nd. Congrats, everyone. You are immediately going to make millions and millions just based off your book, and that's not even close to true. I'm sorry, but it is not. And if you do not have the weight of a publishing agency behind you like Penguin, you are not going to get popular very quickly. Lower your expectations like way down. And this isn't going to be, you're not going to have these black tie, fancy book releases. This isn't, my book release was literally me sitting in bed, typing some things and pushing a button and celebrating by watching High School Musical. That was my book release because I don't have the weight of a publishing agency behind me for one, but I'm not a big author. This is not just, oh my gosh, this is not a big deal to the majority of the world. I mean, you are not going to be famous off the bat. In fact, most authors do not get famous right off the bat. Or ever. And a lot of the times they have other jobs so they can support themselves, or they have a spouse who's willing to help them. And I don't think I've mentioned this on this channel, but I want to travel the world, but I can't do that. I'm going to need a job. I'm going to need to find something so I can support myself, so I can do these things, because being an author, yeah, I want that to be my full-time job, but that can't be my expectation in life, because if that's my expectation, well, I'm going to be very disappointed very quickly. And be happy with what you have. When I got the email at midnight that the conspiracy was available, I lost my mind. I was overjoyed. And I texted everyone right then and there at midnight, hey, I'm a published author, because that was so big a deal to me. And I was in my pajamas. I published my book in my pajamas. So my book was released while I was in my pajamas. This wasn't a ball gown affair. It was very small, and yeah, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, obviously this was your first book, but a lot of people are going to think, hey, okay, I'm with this publishing agency, or maybe I'm even self-publishing, but I'm going to have this big release. No, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. That's just not how this works. So, I also, a little bonus talk, copyright. As soon as you put your pen to paper or cursor to Word doc, it's yours. But if you are using Kindle Direct Publishing like I suggest, you need your own copyright page. You need to make it yourself. And I did this last night I made my own copyright page for the second book. I don't have 4 books, two. But you have, the conspiracy does not have a copyright page because KDP does not provide you with one. You have to make it yourself. It isn't something that happens for you, especially if you are using Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, I've told you all of these benefits, but sometimes it just doesn't work the way you thought it would, and your dream isn't what you thought it would be, because honestly, it's still cool to search my name in Amazon to have my book come up, but this is very, how am I going to make this last? Because this has been one of the best months of my life. And sharing it with my family is wonderful, and sharing it with my school has been wonderful. So if you are publishing, let it be known that this is going to be one of the best things in your entire life. But there are some things you're just going to have to do yourself. Copyright page, I had to make that myself. I had to come up with my own publishing agency that's partnering with KDP, just so I can make that. So I'm going to talk about this more in another video, but I think I'm going to start my own publishing agency. Is that crazy? I think it is, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my own publishing agency. It's going to take forever, and I'm going to have to get a degree in business and all of this, and I'm going to have to go to good college, and I'm going to have to pick up traction, but this is what I want to do, and this is how I am going to succeed, because the more I look into the future, the harder it is for me to see myself doing anything but writing. And I'm sure a lot of you writers out there are the same. It's like, I can't picture myself doing anything else, and I know I'm probably going to have to find something else to do. That's just a fact. When I first get out of college, I'm going to have to find something else to do. But I have big dreams, and I know a lot of you do. And I'm going to fight for them, and I'm going to make them happen. So I have my own publishing agency that I partnered with myself for. In my copyright page, you're going to see my name, Kindle Direct Publishing, in my publishing agency. And that's a really big deal. And I think something that, especially when you're younger, is you always want to grow up. But once you hit a certain age, your future is staring you in the face, and you never want to grow up. You're Peter Pan. You don't want to grow up. You don't want to see the future because it's scary. And me, more than most people my age, I see my future and I'm touching it. I'm a published author. I'm making money off of this. I have a career. I'm publishing books. But a lot of people my age, they are still staring their future in the face. And no one wants to take that leap yet. We're just not ready, but we have to, because we have to grow up. But there is so much you can do now, and would I suggest that you publish a book right now if you have it ready? If you're in high school, if you're in middle school even, go right ahead. It's going to be one of the best experiences of your entire life. But if you don't think you're ready for that, don't do it, because your future will be looking you in the face for the rest of your high school career. and it's scary. Do I wish I waited? No. If I could go back, would I change it? No. Do I wish the future didn't seem so close? Yes. But that's okay. Because today is today. I have my own publishing agency. My name is on the cover of a book. I can search my name in Amazon. How many people can say that? I can search my name in Amazon. Very few. So do you want to do this? Because if you don't, then wait. But I think you should. I really think you should. It's going to be one of the best things you ever do. Yeah. That's all I have. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. If you published a book, leave a comment down below. Make sure to check out my website. That is where you're going to get all the updates on when book 2 is coming out. Book 2 is coming out. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter over there. I have a podcast, Political History, What Could Go Wrong? Link in the description. Make sure to buy The Conspiracy. If you published a book, leave a comment. If you're thinking about publishing a book, leave a comment. If you have any questions for me, leave a comment. Sorry, I'm talking very fast, but I am very energetic right now. Anyway, so I will see you guys next week. Bye.